Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NPC and IFBB Pro League Vice President. This will be the Empro recap for Bikini. So in first place, we had Antonia from Sweden. I think Antonia brought a very good look overall to the show. Her conditioning was on point. Definitely cannot be any harder than what she was, but she displayed good conditioning. She had good balance between her upper and her lower body, both in the front pose and in the back pose. She presented herself very well as well. I think a couple things that she can work on is adding a little bit more depth to her glutes. This will help enhance her back pose and also her walk to the back. From the front, I think she can actually downsize just a touch her shoulders and the thickness of her arms. I think that will actually, by streamlining that a little bit, it will enhance her front pose and her look. She also sometimes was pulling a bit of a vacuum when she was hitting her front pose. I don't think she needs to do that. We really don't need to see vacuums in the bikini front pose. So she doesn't need to be sucking up her stomach as much as she was. I think also if she does not do that, it will also enhance her front pose as well. So just a couple of little tweaks for her, but overall a very strong package. Now in second place, we had Ruki from Turkey. I think there's a couple things that she could work on. I remember I've judged her in the past and she was really conditioned, like way too conditioned for bikini. I thought conditioning wise that she was really close to where she needed to be. You could still see a little bit of that hardness through her quads and her side leg in her front pose. But overall from the back, her tie-ins weren't too conditioned. She wasn't too separated from her tie-ins and her hamstrings up to her glutes. So upper body wise, her conditioning was not bad either. What she can work on is adding a little bit more to her upper glutes. I think her front pose as well. She can also work on hiding her waist just a little bit better. I think she was twisted a little bit too far forward towards the judges, which is making her waist look a little bit thicker, especially standing next to Antonia. When we're comparing the top two here. So that was a little bit of a difference between them as well. And I think overall muscularity, the way she was hitting her front pose as well, her side leg was definitely out of the top four, the most muscular. I think that's also why you can see a little bit of that hardness still there. So she can streamline the muscle in her quads and side leg down just a touch as well. But overall, from how I've seen her in the past until now, I definitely think she improved and she brought a solid look. In third place, we had Lisa. I think Lisa brought a very good look to this show. I think that from New York until now, she improved the way she hit her front pose a little bit. She has good overall balance between her upper and her lower body. And conditioning wise, I think she just missed the mark by a little bit, just a touch on the soft side. You could really see that when she was hitting her back pose and also for the bikini walk, especially to the back. Overall, she can still improve the upper glutes, outer glutes, and the tie-in area just a little bit more. Adding a little bit more depth to there will really enhance the back pose. I think it would actually also help her front pose as well with the overall hourglass shape that she displays. Really, I think the difference between her and the top two was she was just a little bit off with the conditioning. Now, for her, I even told her she used to come in, from when I've seen her in the past, really too hard. And missing the conditioning this way, just being a touch too soft, will always place you better than being too hard in bikini. So she's definitely getting much closer to the standard that we want to see with the conditioning. She is qualified for this year already. She won the show in India a couple weeks ago. I think with just a couple more tweaks, she will definitely improve her showing at the Olympia than what she did last year. And even at this show, I think if she would have hit her peak correctly, she would have been very hard to beat with all the other girls here. So good job to her, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do at the Olympia this year. In fourth place, we had Allison. I think Allison definitely brought an improved look from when I saw her last in Pittsburgh. Front pose wise, I think her balance and flow to the front pose has gotten definitely better from a month or so ago. I also think the balance in her conditioning between her upper and lower body has gotten better as well. Now for Allison, I think the main thing for her is from the back, if you go and look at her from a couple years ago until now, her glutes got wider in the back. And as they've gotten wider, I feel like she definitely has less depth to her glutes as well. So for her in the back pose, between her and the top three, I think this is where she was really lacking, was the glutes have gotten wider and they're lacking depth. I think she can bring in the width of her glutes to how they used to be, add a little bit more depth, and that will really enhance her look. Overall, with the front pose, I think it's taken a while, but the flow is much, much better. The overall balance and conditioning for her is much, much better. And I think actually she hit bikini conditioning pretty right on at this show as well. So again, for her, it's just a couple more tweaks, and I think she can get back to that Olympia stage as well if she keeps moving forward this year. So solid show overall in bikini for the Empro. This will be the recap for figure for the Empro. So in first place, we had Lena from Germany. Lena's obviously already qualified for the Olympia this year as well. I think her physique overall has definitely improved. Upper body wise, her conditioning was right on what we want to see for figure. She has improved her taper, her conditioning in her upper body, and she's also improved her back. I think she could have just a little bit more detail throughout her back, and that will really, really help her as she moves towards the Olympia. Lower body wise, she was still a little bit too hard in the legs. That's definitely been an issue for her in the past. I think for her, this was better than what I've seen her before. Normally her legs are actually even a little bit harder than this. So she just needs to keep working towards that and really finding that overall balance where if she can get the conditioning that she had in her upper body and her lower body, it will really, really help her physique. She has a great taper, a very clean overall look. She poses very well, not only from the front, but also from the sides, displaying her taper, and also from the back. Now, in second, we had Jenny. Jenny needs to find that balance between her upper and her lower body with the conditioning. The lower body conditioning was right on. Her upper body was a little bit on the hard side. Her back pose is very strong. She has good depth and detail to her back, a nice taper as well. Her overall balance is solid muscularity-wise. Now she can improve on how she hits her front pose and how she hits both of her side poses. Here's the difference between her and Lena. The way she displays her taper in all three of these poses is just not as good as Lena's was. I think these are some small tweaks she can work. Maybe she needs to add a little bit more width as well, just specifically to the lats, to really help accentuate her taper in both the front and the side poses. In third place, we had Nadine. I think Nadine brought a very, very good look overall. I think her conditioning was basically exactly what we want to see for figure. She had that slight separation everywhere, not too hard, either or in one place. Now, the main thing for her is she needs to improve her overall back. From the front pose, the waist needs to come in a little bit. She needs to display a little bit more taper and width in her front pose. In the back pose, obviously, she still needs more width, but she definitely needs to fill in more detail on her back. I also think she can hit her back pose much, much better. Sometimes she was not opening it up all the way. Sometimes even when she was, she even flattens out her back a little bit more than it should be. Really fixing this is going to help her a lot. I think really that's the main thing for her. Posing from the side, she was very good. She displays a good taper. Upper to lower body balance is also very, very good. So a couple tweaks and improving the back a little bit, and she will move up the ranks for sure. In fourth place, we had Amanda. Amanda has a very good structure for figure. I think she has a very nice front pose. You can see the balance and the taper between her upper and her lower body. Now, for her, she needs to work on adding just a little bit more separation to her legs. She was a little bit on the soft side, just holding a touch of water, in my opinion, here at this show. Then she also needs to improve her back pose. The way she hits her back pose, you see that her taper and width looks much better from the front than it does from the back. She also tends to bend her knees a little bit too much in the back pose, and then she tries to squeeze her glutes, in my opinion, probably because she wants to show the conditioning that was just lacking a little bit there. So needs to definitely retool the back pose. She hits two great side poses. Again, you can see that she has a really good structure, really nice taper, and overall balance here in the side poses. With a little bit more of that leg separation, the side poses would become very, very tough to beat. And from the back, she just needs to display herself much better than what she was here. And I also think when she gets rid of that little bit of water, that even the detail on her back will look much better as well. So again, a couple little fixes for her, but I think she can move on and try to battle for that qualification later this year.